All right, so you're thinking about Symbiosis International University and you've got your eye on 2026 admissions. You're in the right place. We're going to break down everything you need to know about this top-tier university, from the programs and placements right down to the entrance exam you've got to crack.
But before we jump into all the nitty-gritty, let's just take a step back and ask a bigger question. What really makes a university, well, elite? What sets the best apart from the rest?
Well, Symbiosis has a pretty powerful answer to that. You're looking at a university with a NAIG A++ accreditation, which is a huge deal. It's globally recognized and it's known for a campus environment that's frankly in a league of its own.
Okay, let's get into it. First up, the dream. What makes Symbiosis such a sought-after choice? It really boils down to an education that goes way beyond just what you learn in a lecture hall.
Their whole philosophy is something they call exponential learning. And what that really means is you're not just going to be reading textbooks. You're going to be doing things, getting your hands dirty with real projects, landing valuable internships, and engaging with the community. It's all about preparing you for the real world. So that's the on-campus experience. But what about the bigger picture? This is where things get really interesting, because Symbiosis has some incredible international connections that can literally open up the world for you.
And this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Check out this BBA dual degree they have with Deakin University. You do year 1 in Pune, year 2 in Dubai, and then you finish up with 2 years in Australia. I mean, what an incredible journey, right?
And look, this is the key takeaway here. This isn't just some academic field trip. The source material points out that the visa rules in Australia are pretty friendly, which means that this program can be a direct pipeline to getting a job there right after you graduate. That's a game changer.
So you've got this amazing global opportunity. But what can you actually study at Symbiosis? Let's take a look, because the options are seriously diverse and built for today's world.
As you can see, they've got a pretty wide spread. Management is obviously a huge focus, but they're also super strong in technology and have great programs in economics and data science. It's not just a one-trick pony. And if we drill down a little deeper, you can see they're really thinking about the future. Of course, you have the classic BBA, but look at all the programs focused on AI and data science. They're clearly preparing students for the jobs that are in high demand right now, and the ones that will be tomorrow. Okay, so you found the perfect program. It's got you excited. Now for the million-dollar question. How do you actually get in? Well, the road to Symbiosis goes right through their entrance exam, the SET. The first part is pretty straightforward. You need at least 50% in your 10+2 exams. After that, it's a two-step dance. First, you gotta clear the SET exam. Then, if you make the cut, you move on to a personal interview. All right, get your calendars out because these dates are crucial. Registration shuts down on April 15th. You've got 2 different test days in May, and here's a cool little tip. You can actually take the test on both days, and they'll consider your best score. So what's actually in the test? Let's break it down. You've got 4 sections: English, Quant, General Awareness, and Logical Reasoning. And the scoring is super simple. 1 question, 1 mark. Easy enough. So in total, you're looking at exactly 60 questions. And you've got, you guessed it, exactly 60 minutes to answer them all. So what's the big takeaway here? It's a race against the clock. 1 minute per question. This is a speed test, plain and simple. Your ability to think fast is what's on trial. But, and this is a big but, there is no negative marking. So the strategy is simple. Attempt every single question, no excuses. All right, let's talk about the money. The big question, right? What kind of investment are we looking at to study at Symbiosis? And, probably more important, what's the return you can expect when you graduate? So let's get specific. If we look at their flagship BBA program at the main campus in Pune, you're looking at an academic fee of just under 4 lakhs a year. Now, that's a serious investment, for sure. So let's see what you get for it. And here's where that investment really starts to make sense. The median salary is almost 7 lakhs a year. That's a fantastic return right there. And it gets better. The opportunities aren't just in India. The highest international package went all the way up to 17 lakhs. And you can see why the placements are so strong when you look at who's hiring. We're talking about the biggest names in the business: Accenture, KPMG, ICICI Bank, even global brands like Calvin Klein. These companies know that a Symbiosis grad is a top-tier hire. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. The dream, the global doors it opens, the path to get in, and the payoff at the end. So now let's pull it all together to help you make that final big decision. So let's lay it all out, the good and the things you really need to think about. On the strength side, the global exposure is just incredible. The placement record speaks for itself, and the brand name is elite. But you have to consider the premium fees, the advice to really focus on the Pune campus, and the fact that you've got to be quick on your feet for that entrance exam. And that really brings us to the final question, the one only you can answer. There's no doubt that Symbiosis offers a world-class launchpad. It gives you incredible opportunities, but it also demands a pretty big investment of your time, your hard work, and your money. So is this the right launchpad for your ambitions? That's the decision you get to make.